It's safe to say that by the time the sixth generation of consoles arrived, there were already well-established characters and genres, like Doom for the PC, which didn't really do much for the console, but they'd have to wait until Halo. But the one thing the consoles did have early on was platformers. Mario, Sonic, even the 3D platformers like Spyro, Crash, Rayman 2, and even Bubsy 3D. However, the turn of the millennium would pose an old gaming problem.
I say old gaming because let's face it, stagnation isn't really something AAA devs really care about.
Look at how many Destiny clones, PUBG clones, hell, the shooters that are out now are boring at best and abhorrent at worst. Platforms were about to suffer from this, but unlike adding, removing and selling back features like in the shooter market, Microsoft and Artoon decided to do something new for the 3D platformer market. However, whilst trying to rejuvenate the platformer market, this particular idea would also sell the Xbox to younger audiences. I think it's a given this particular console is pretty much like adult only, so they wanted a kiddie-friendly console now.
I can't imagine that not working.
So with a collection of medium and big games so far in the Xbox timeline comprising of this, it's time for a new launch, Blinx. So an awful lot is hanging on this game. Stopping platformer stagnation, kiddie-friendly Xbox for everybody, and the list goes on. So, is it good? Well, the music is quaint, yet fun. I like it. Hey, demos! These are pretty cool. Essentially, the demo screen shows all the upcoming games that are to come. In fact, these will all get their own episode later on, between the Da Vinci Code and Finding Nemo. But so far it's a 4.9. Nothing perfect after all. Okay, well, from the other side of the coin, nothing is exactly wrong yet. The menu is animated, music is enticing, and it can all be read. Even the exclusive seal. I don't know why it's there, but hey, it's not bothersome, so it's okay. So looking that way, it's still a 5.
But it's not to last.
It lasts for now. The demo cutscene is hecka exciting. It's beautifully animated from a console that still used CRTs as its main output. Yeah, these things. Although then again, I suppose the younger people watching won't actually know what these are. Never mind, I'll drop that for now. It looks beautiful, it sounds beautiful too. Seriously, top-notch sound design. The story has a plot device which could be described as a cliché, but given that platformers are not well known for their deep and rich stories, heck, even the crappy Game Boy port of Atlantis doesn't have a story in itself. You just play. Well, die. Right. So for me to explain the premise, I'll have to go over the opening cutscene. The game starts with a massive building met with moving components and clock ticks. You know this place is about timing. This is the Time Factory. Almost immediately you're met by a voice talking in an indecipherable tongue. Now, unlike Star Fox's babble, Blinx's tongue is actually what some sort of language would sound like. After some more of Blinx saying don't waste time, which is fitting considering the Blighter can't run very well, the door to the Time Factory opens. This is where the music kicks in.
Oh my! I love this soundtrack already!
The camera pans from the clock, and the corridor comes into view. And, yep, this place is massive. The Time Factory is a place where all the universe's time is made. It's a big deal. Every world has time made here, which begs the question as to whether this is private or public sector corporation.
Hang on a minute. Yes, the Time Factory does have a CEO, but even the public sector has them. I don't know.
Let's not get into MatPat territory. I'm talking about the game. Continuing from what the factory does, each world has an operator who watches for glitches. Once found, a sweeper moves in and cleans it up. These glitches are in the form of crystals, which, after being left for a while, become monsters. Blinx doesn't do this very well, however, due to a mechanic that's built into the game about the time crystals. You often leave this behind. Inconsistency is beautiful.
It is important to note, however, that inconsistency between cutscene and gameplay is something that only scuffs a 5 down to a 4.9. If it's a 4.9 or lower, I'm not going to scuff it anymore for that. Just deal with it, okay? Just deal with it.
Back to the plot. An alarm sounds, and like the rest of the motif, it's actually kind of adorable. The alarm sounded from senior management. Tom-toms, the time bandits, these pigs that have evaded one of the frankly many worlds out there. From here, we learn the Tom-toms break the time delivered and sells it in its crystal form.
Oh god, we can all see what happens.
Yep, you guessed it, they turn into monsters. And because they broke a flowing river, kind of, it quickly spirals out of control. Reports flow in about bigger, badder monsters. Insult to injury comes in the form of the Tom-tom stealing the princess. Cutscene over. Time for the tutorial. For a tutorial, it isn't that intrusive in the fact that you have stabilizers, but it does break your flow over and over. For a game about time, there's a lot of wasting it going on here. Just make the circles 3D models and then focus on you, so you move around whilst reading the text and you can see the circled object. Boom! Fixed! But thankfully it's the only level that suffers, and I see the point. I'm not shaving the score off yet. I'm shaving it by 0.4. 2 for having the lack of speed killing me, and 2 for having a lack of creativity for timeouts. It's just a fade. Come on, Artoon. You have art in your name. Why don't you do a slow fade to white during the final 10 seconds, becoming a white block on screen when the timer ends? Maybe fade the music for the ticking. When it actually times out, make the clock bong. Not deathly, just, a microwave beep or something. But fading to black abruptly is just leaving a bit left to desired. Now for the head turner. Not the nightmare smiler, Blinx. You're not the Cheshire Cat. You're a mid-gen platformer. I don't want to see your jarring smile. Time powers. God, they're a mixed bag. Minus 0.2 for every bad control. This is integral, so it's worth it. There are 6 controls: pause, rewind, fast forward, slow, and record and retry. Pause works nearly perfectly. It stops everything apart from you. Timer doesn't stop though. That's annoying. Minus 0.1 overall. To make matters worse, you touch a paused enemy and boom! Minus 0.1. It's not bad, however. Far from it. This is a key tool for everybody. Trust me. Use them if you need to. Rewinds. Works perfectly. Everything but you and the things that have you as a reference frame, like the trash bullets that you use, rewinds. Which is always useful. Trust me. I'm not shaving a score for this one. Fast forward. Good idea, bad usage. Everything speeds up, including the timer. The one that you need to keep the most eye on for, in case you stray over the 10-minute limit. Bad control. Sorry, it's pointless. It could have been so much better as well.
Oh, hey. Okay, I got a list for the next 5 games that we're going to have to do. And some notes from editor. Alright, sure. Lay them on me. Okay, so first up we've got Blinx 2, which is obviously the sequel, and editor says something about, I don't know, something like, keep it minimal, something about the budget. Next up after that is Broken Sword, the Sleeping Dragon, and for that one apparently don't keep it too long. After that, Constantine, the book seems like that was really good, so that's all we want to do, amazing cuts to the film. Crash and Car, I think we'll actually really like Fantasy. So that's niche stuff, we got dance at the moment, so we'll push that forward for the Zoom. Is that alright? Sure. No problem. Ah, splendid.
Record. Works so well that it needs a spin-off. It saves everything you do for 10 seconds from the moment you trigger it, and then it rewinds everything, even the timer, thank God. Then you just go and do what you want, and your copy does what you did in the 10 seconds you did the record thing. Brilliant. Saving grace. Bring up the score for such amazing design. Slow. It works as well as pause. Timer not affected, but everything's slower. It's functional. Good. Retry is the one that's kinda a time control. It works as a hit point. These hearts represent the points, and when you die, everything rewinds until you're safe, and you just go again. Amazing. But if they run out, you have to redo the stage. It works well. It's pretty much platformer trope. For getting these controls, you need a combo. The crystals you collect are coloured to match the control. You need 3 of the same crystals in your slot in the bottom left in any order. It will then give you 1 control. If you manage to get all 4 of them the same, you get 2. This is frustrating and understandable. Understandable as your controls carry with you as the game goes on, so it has to be harder for you to get them. but it's annoying because of the massive inconsistency mentioned earlier between the plot and the gameplay. If you hear anyone say this game is hard, it gets hard. Take it from me too. I'm not a platformer guy, so I managed to get just over halfway before it really made me pull my hair out. It goes from easy to painful in just under half a game. The difficulty curve steepens and it really does show, especially when, come on Blinx, run you slow little cat! When it gets to the point where the difficulty is annoying or pushing me through with the music, it makes me feel like this picture every time it gives me a golden song.
And that's most of the time. I love the soundtrack. It is just objectively good. There's no two ways about it. Come on. Plus 0.1. It's that good.
Unfortunately, the price for this game has to run out at some point, and this is where it ends. Other than the gameplay problem, I actually ended up getting bored because of how easy it is to fall all the way back to the beginning. This forces me to drop the score once more.
And that concludes this review. To sum up, this game is actually kind of worth it for collectors, and maybe platformer hunters, but further than that it will be pushing it. But despite the slow controls and frustrating enemies and mechanics, the graphics are again beautiful and the soundtrack is untouchable. However, the problems previously mentioned pushes its score to a 3.9, which gives it the phrase of uncut diamond. So this game didn't quite have enough to polish a 4, but they tried again. We all know what the next episode is. Let's see if Blinx 2, Masters of Time and Space, suffers from the rules of being a sequel.